Fan support for university football in Quebec is, well, fantastic. Standing apart from the rest of the queue is Laval. 6 of the top 10 attended games were at Laval, with over 18,000 for their home opener. This season, they're averaging about 13,000 per home game, and this Saturday will be no different. The word different is appropriate when you talk about football in Laval.
What you are about to see is a story that far too many Canadian sports fans simply don't know about. It's a story about absolute dedication and pure fanaticism that have all the signs of a cult. It's before 6 a.m. The sun is still another 45 minutes away from rising when people start arriving. This is Saturday morning in Quebec City. And before the Laval Rouge et Or take the field for their 1 p.m. start, over 7,000 people will pack the parking lot of Stade de Pep and, well, just watch.
Et aujourd'hui, les amis, dans son acte, nous sommes alors encore une fois trouvés à tous les millions.
Pardonnez-nous nos mauvaises punitions. Pardonnez-nous nos mauvaises punitions.
Now, tailgating is certainly nothing new. It's been happening for generations, but this scene has become routine in Quebec City and is completely foreign to the Canadian college system. But tailgating is not what separates Laval from the rest of the pack. At their home opener this year against Montreal, over 18,000 fans were packed into the 10,000-seat Pep Stadium, and most of those 18,000 fans were wearing some form of Laval merchandise, which leads to the real difference between Laval and everybody else: money. The Rouge et Or is privately funded in part by Jacques Tanguay, the same guy who, along with Patrick Roy, brought the Quebec Ramparts back to the Q. And with money comes success. The team employs several full-time coaches and has a week-long spring camp in Florida, something completely unheard of across the CIS, and the state of football in Quebec has never been bigger.
A really good level of football is played here in Quebec, and I think that the players now, coming out of CEGEP, want to stay here. And that was not true 10 years ago. And now they want to stay here because there's something going on. There's a good football, there's good caliber of football. There's good crowds around them, and I think it's good for us because it gets us to keep our talent, and we get to see our talent grow, and we get to see them play.
But while the Laval model is good for Laval, how good is it for the CIS as a whole? Some say that Laval has an unfair advantage because they can hire full-time coaches and use their popularity to lure kids to their program. And until the fans stop paying, the future will always remain extremely bright for the Rouge et Or.
They're in a really, really special setup, you know. It's unique because it's such a big city with no professional sports. So the Rouge et Or, everybody revolves around the Rouge et Or. And I think that's why it's a little bit harder for the schools to recreate what Laval is able to create here.
What are you doing Saturday?
Plenty of things. One of them, locked in front of my television watching CIS football.
If you weren't doing that, I smell road trip.
Well, I'd be in Laval.
How much fun did that? It was unbelievable.
Well, I saw the men's and women's washroom sign, and we were turning the corner, and I thought the worst for a second. I thought we were going to see something we didn't want to see.
Well, we'll be sure to see a huge crowd for the first of our university football doubleheader on Saturday. Laval hosting Acadia in the UTEC Bowl. That gets going at noon, followed by the Huskies in the nation's capital for the right to hoist the Marshall Cup. Then next Saturday, it's the big dance. The pregame starts at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. It is the Potash Corporation Vanier Cup, and it's also in high definition.